Hello everyone, my name is Cap and welcome back to the channel, and it's been a little bit since I've done a testing video, and since I've been playing Darkness Falls for a while, this brought up a test that I'm actually curious about. Because there's different zombies that explode besides just the cop, I'm wondering if the Darkness Falls mod overhaul changed up how much damage they actually do. So that's what I'm going to test today, is to see the different entities, how much damage they do. So we start off with these radiated zombie stupid dogs. These idiots show up on Blood Moon hordes, and when they die, if you don't shoot them in the head enough times to where it basically blows off their body, they will explode similarly to the cop. But I'm curious as to how much damage they do to the blocks, so you can kind of see, how well you're going to be building your base. So I have some concrete blocks stacked up around here. You can see they're all healed right at the moment, or all fully repaired. So I'm going to try and get him to explode and see how much damage he does to the blocks. I have him up on the top of some blocks and then next to one, so I can see if I get him to blow up like right here, how much damage he does to the blocks underneath him and to the blocks next to him. Again, this is more or less just kind of a test to see, hey, by the way, I'm building a base. What do I need to think about before the idiots start blowing things up? So we're going to start off with the dog. We'll get him down a little bit low on health and see if we can't get him to explode. Okay, got him to blow up, no big deal. And he blows up with the same animation and for some reason leaves behind the same... We have a bouncing organ. We have a liver on the loose. Somebody keep an eye on it. So anyway, it's clearly the reusing the animation with the police officer, the radiated cop, or the cops in general, not just the radiated ones, but when they explode. So let's see if it does any kind of damage. So it did about 375 to the one that's right next to. It did more damage to the one that it was on top of. Here it did about 420, so the difference between here and here is about 40 damage, I guess, and it kind of like propagates out a little ways. You can see it hit all of the blocks that's here. Typically the explosion radius for the zombies in here is 5 blocks. Now whether it goes 5 blocks up, down, left, and right, I'm not quite sure. It's kind of harder to test those just because of where you got to get the zombie to explode to fully test that. But you can see that just here, did it do any damage to the one down here? It did go ahead and do some damage down here. So you can see that it did, the biggest amount of damage was the one it was sitting on top of, with just shy of 500 damage, 412 damage actually, versus the 4625 right next to where it's at here. So you can see it's kind of like all over the place, but relatively close to about 400 damage on average to a block. So we'll reset and we'll try out the next entity. Alright, so we've got Carl, our resident police officer, up here. He's just the base level zombie that shows up in any version, whether it's a mod or the vanilla version. So we'll see what kind of damage he does. We'll get him to go all gassy mode on us. I've got their animations turned off, as you can see. That way, when they do get ready to explode... Okay, well, I guess he's going to fall down beside it. Okay, no big deal. Alright, he's got the heartbeat. Let's see what he does. Boom! And we have another little liver ballistics here. Let's see how much of a bounce we're going to get on this one. Boing! That is fantastic. I hope nobody ever removes that from the game. Okay, so he blew up right next to this block here. And you can see he did roughly about the same as the dog. He still hit the block up top there, even though he was right next to it. Did a decent chunk of damage to the asphalt down here, but... it's kind of usually damaged halfway on its own anyway. So he did less than 400 here. He did less than 400 on both of the ones that he was right next to. And then the one that was up top, he did under 300. So it looks like I need to retest that and see if I can get him to sit up on top again, because I want to make sure I have the most valid amount of data as possible. So let's see if I can get him to stay put here. Maybe I can blow out a leg. Can you... Hey. Let me see if I can push him over. Hey, Scoochie. Come on, scooch. I need you to move right over here. I don't want to see your butt crack, man. We're going to get up close and personal. He's going to fall off again. Here, tell you what, since you're doing some weird dancing here, I'm going to go ahead and do it like this. Get you to fall off. Alright, let's see what it does to the blocks that are around him. Boom skis, and we have another liver airborne. Alright, so these blocks here are brand new. So you can see the ones he's right next to still did less than 400 damage. It's roughly about the same amount that the dog did when he blew up right next to it. Now, looking at the data files, it says that the explosive damage is 500. Doing multiple tests of that particular value, I've yet to actually see a specific 500 damage done to one specific block or not. So it looks like, at least on those two, that the dog and the regular cop do right around 400 damage for each one of those. So if you're planning a base design out, you might want to consider that, so that you can, have enough reinforcement, so if you get multiple of these idiots, when they start exploding, they're not going to bring down the fort, like I've had happen. Okay, so now let's get a better cop over here. Fat cop radiated in a blood moon here. He's got more life. He's got glowing eyes. He is ready for work. Let's see if we can't get him to stay up here where he's supposed to be. Maybe we can go like... Stay... Okay, you're just hell-bent on not staying where I want you to go, aren't you? Here, let's see if... Oh, I can't even put you there. Come on, Carl. Pull your pants up and move forward a little bit. Nobody wants to see that. All right, so it looks like he's going to bounce backwards a little bit again and do the same thing the other one did, making life difficult for testing. Okay, there we go. We got Heartbeat of the Nation going on, and... Boom! Oh, I took a little bit of damage. I'm staying a little bit close on there. Did we get a projectile? We did. See if we get a good bounce there. We got a good bounce. All right, let's see what he did here. All right, so he did a little bit more than 500 on the block he was sitting right on top of. He did close to 600 there, so that's interesting. A little bit more in 5 there. A little bit more in 5 there. He did more than 500 on all of these. So it looks like the radiated cop did more damage than the regular cop did. Okay, cool. I want to reset this and try it out again and get him to see if I can stand him right next to a block, just to see if we get the exact same results. So give me just a second to repair. All right, so we've got our radiated policeman. Now, there's two different ones we have here. You got the Fat Cop Radiated and the Fat Cop Radiated Blood Moon version here. And as far as I can tell, they are pretty similar to each other. You can see, looking at here, he's got 902 health, he's got 902. As far as I can tell, other than just how the game uses to summon one of them in, there's no difference between the two of them. So if you're curious as to why I'm picking one over the other, that's why. We're going ahead and... Yeah, get rid of him. All right, we cleared up a little bit larger area here, so maybe we can try this out again. Double check, make sure all the blocks are repaired. So far, Radiated Blood Moon Horde Cop did more damage than the regular cop and the dog did. Let's see if we can't wear him down. Trigger here is indigestion, and there we go, right next to the block. Fantastic. Scoot back a little bit. And we have our meat fountain again. Good job, good job. Okay, let's go over here and see how much damage he did to the ones he was standing on top of. Okay, so he did quite a bit, a little bit more than 600 damage on that one. And the one he was next to, he did just slightly under 600 at 565 damage. So it seems the radiated cop definitely does more than the radiated dog and the regular cop, because he's closing in on 700 damage on some of these blocks here. It's somewhere around 600 seems to be the average. So regular cop and the dog seem to do about 400 damage. The radiated cop seems to do about 600. That's very interesting. Get a couple of these bad boys lined up and they can start whittling away at your base pretty quickly. Okay, we got one more to test out and then we'll move on. So now we have our friend the Demolition Zombie here. He is just the regular one. This is the same one that's in vanilla, and I set it up here to see, because typically, like I said, they're supposed to have a 5-block radius. So I have him on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can see if he actually makes the damage all the way out to there and the one that he's next to. Fortunately for me, these are a little bit easier to get to explode. All you have to do is just... I say that right before I miss. There we go. Hit the no-no button, scoot back a little ways. And boom skis. All right, so we got a big crack in the block over there. So let's see. He did not hit all the way out to here. He did get some... Dang, he did some damage out to here. Okay, so the one he's standing on top of, he did 4,135 damage to. I'm pretty sure the data file says that they can do upwards of 5,000. So they technically can do enough damage to completely wipe out a block of reinforced concrete. This is the block that we're using, is a reinforced concrete block. They have 5,000 durability. So the one he's standing on top of, he did more damage than this one by about 400. But you can see the range at which he hit things. It looks like it's about 5 blocks diameter from where he's standing. So 1, 2, 3, and then out to here, he definitely did some damage. But as we get back over here, he did some damage here and didn't do any damage on this one. So we got 1, 2, 3, basically. So I'm not quite sure exactly how the radius works. Even in my original testing video I did with these guys, it was hard to figure out the exact radius. It says it's 5, but who knows? I don't know. But Demolition Zombie is definitely the one that's going to do the most amount of damage if he shows up. Now, there is other Demolition Zombies for the Darkness Falls mod, which is the ones we are testing. We have the mutated zombie and the mutated one for the Blood Moon Horde. I'm going to test this one next just to see what kind of damage he can actually do, but I need to repair all these real quick so we have a good baseline to go with. So give me just a minute to repair everything. Alright, so we have a mutated Demolition Zombie that shows up on the Blood Moon Hordes, and these bad boys have 10,000 health, and as you can see, they're a little bit taller. We are crotch height when we're standing right next to him, which is not where you want to be. So, we have everything repaired here. He's right next to this block. Oh my god, I can't even imagine how much damage this idiot's going to do. I'm going to stand a little bit further back here just in case, because that's a big mamma jamma right there. So, let's see if we can't hit his no-no button. Oh, he got the click. Let's see if we can do it on the first try. Okay, let's big boom coming up right here. Holy sweet hell. He took out part of the mountainside. I'm going to guess that he did some damage to some of the blocks too. Okay, alright, so this is the one he was standing on. He did, wow, shockingly he didn't do as much damage. I'm wondering if it's just because of how tall he is. See, he did only barely 2,000 to this one. And the surrounding blocks here, he did just a little over 3,000. I mean, the shockwave went out further, so he definitely did damage to at least 5 blocks in all directions. But, I mean, he hit every block that was around here. But he didn't do that much damage to the one he was on top of versus the regular one here. Look, see, he did, I mean, you can see what the number is. It's 3,067 damage versus the other one did about 4,000. So that's quite a bit of difference. I would think the big guy is going to do a lot more damage. Now, clearly his radius is much bigger since he took out a chunk of the freaking mountainside and probably would remove part of the house. Okay, so when it comes to Darkness Falls and idiots that like to explode, it looks like the radiated zombie dog does the least amount of damage, but it's still a viable threat since they show up in packs. Got the regular cop over there, he does his normal amount of damage. Then the radiated police officer, he does considerably bit more damage as well. Then we got the regular demo zombie who does more damage than all the rest of them. You'd think Big Mama Jama here would actually do the most, but he did considerably less than his smaller brother. So if you're building a base, these are the kind of idiots you're going to have to look out for when it comes to Blood Moon Hordes.